they live there. Toulouse versus Connacht in round 2 of European Champions Cup rugby. We can now go live to the Stade Ernest-Wallon in France and join our commentary team, the two Murphys, former Leicester and Munster player Johne Murphy, and first, Nathan Murphy. Good afternoon, gents.
Thank you very much, John. Perfect timing. We are just about to get underway in this Heineken Champions Cup Pool 2 clash. The referee blows his whistle and Connacht get us underway. A much changed Connacht side from the team that beat Montpellier last weekend. No Bundy Aki in the match day 23. Jack Carty only among the replacements. So Conor Fitzgerald, the Clare man, has started at out half. But this is a big beast of a Toulouse side they're playing. They are missing the wonder kid Cheslin Colby, and Connacht a big hit straight away to put Toulouse under an awful lot of pressure, and they have won themselves a penalty, I think, there, Johnny.
Yeah, they got just got a knock on. They got in there, got choke tackle, managed to get the ball down. But they need this physical edge. They're up against us, so, and they've got Gray and Takori in the second row against Delan and Roux. It's going to be a tough day for the forwards, but they need to have that physical edge that they had last week against Montpellier. And but it is going to be a tough ask. But these youngsters have done it before over there, so hopefully they can take something from back from those years ago.
Toulouse unbeaten in their last 10 games at this stadium. Squad packed with players who played at the World Cup, and the experience of the likes of Jerome Kano, the two-time World Cup winning All Black. But Connacht have this scrum, and Toulouse dominate that first scrum, and maybe an early marker laid down by the home side. I mentioned, Johnny, right from the start, that it's a very different Connacht 15 to the one that played at the sports ground. I don't want to say Andy Friend has thrown this, but certainly he's coming here hoping they can just probably come away with a losing bonus point.
I think that's, in a pool with two European giants of Montpellier and Toulouse, I think it's very important that you try and get what you can away from home, but your home games are massively important. I think the physical edge that we already spoke about, but scrum time, set piece, Connacht are going to be massively up against it. They had a prime attacking opportunity there inside the 22, and it just relieves pressure not being able to hold their scrum up.
Now Vaca, the Toulouse hooker, throws the ball in for the first line out of the game. It is one area where Connacht have plenty of experience and will try and disrupt Toulouse with Quinn Roux and Ultan Delan in the second row. The scrum half, Sebastian Bézi, puts a high one up there, but well collected by Matt Healy, and the experienced Connacht man puts the head down and runs straight into a wall of red jerseys. Toulouse attacking from left to right as we look at it here at the Stade Ernest-Wallon, one of the great venues for European rugby. And Thomas Ramos, part of that French World Cup squad, skips through a couple of Connacht players and brings the ball up towards the 10-metre line. Head down is Joe Takori, brought to ground by Quinn Roux. And some sloppy hands there. The rain started to come down just before kickoff here. It had been a dry enough morning in Toulouse. The pitch looks in absolutely perfect condition, but just as the sides were emerging out onto the pitch, the rain started to pelt down, so the ball will be a little bit slippery, you would imagine. Again, well collected back there, and Connacht will have an opportunity to run from deep, which they always seem to love to do. It's Kyle Godwin. They say no Bundy Aki in this Connacht back line. Crossfield kick to this Connacht left wing is just going to be let bounce out of play in the full, and
that's a nice bit of control shown by Fitzgerald there. Nice left foot kick into Toulouse's 22 across to the left-hand side here in front of us. But I think that's a common theme. They've had the ball twice. They've held on to Connacht. They've held on to the ball for one phase, and then they've looked to exit out. There's obviously clear that they want to try and make sure that they're playing rugby in the correct areas of the park, which is good to see. So Blade and Fitzgerald have controlled the territory so far. It's interesting to see there's been a couple of slips, as Nathan has already said. The rain has started to come down here, but the pitch looked in perfect condition before the game. Just might be a small bit slippery now as the rain falls just on that surface grass.
Toulouse win their own line out on their own 22 through the Scot Richie Gray, and they try and gain some yards. Connacht come in from the side, and the referee today, a lot to say for himself. Carl Dixon just turns to Robin Copeland and says that the former Munster man is the guilter party.
That's twice now Connacht have been in the 22. I know they're looking to get that ball back off what is probably going to be a box kick, but from Bézi down to the back three of Connacht, but it just gives them such an easy get out. They've been in the 22 twice, 2 penalties, 2 easy get outs for Toulouse.
They do not want to give this Toulouse backline a run on you. It is no shortage of talent. The likes of Romain Ntamak playing it out half, the current World Rugby Breakthrough Player of the Year. Maxime Medard, Yoann Huget, veteran French internationals, and Sofiane Guitane and Lucas Tozan in the centre with Thomas Ramos at full back. Of course, Cheslin Colby still to return in the coming weeks. Ball is in the hands of Mao Vacu, the Toulouse hooker, up towards the Connacht 22. Attempts to offload. Bezzy's there. Excellent. And then he gives it back to from Cyril Bai. Now it's Joe Takuri, the veteran Samoan. And Toulouse just struggling to gain any ground at the moment as Kano's brought to ground. Now they might try and send it out wide. It's kicked high up into the air by Ntamak, and Connacht and Matt Healy need to claim this. He doesn't, and there might be an opportunity there for Medard, who keeps it alive, and suddenly Toulouse are through. And a real opportunity here for the first try of the game. Connacht managed to get numbers back, though. Well, there was one mistake by Matt Healy, didn't claim that high ball, and straight away Toulouse were onto it like a shot. And pushing up towards that Connacht line is Cyril Bai. Out they go wide to the left wing, and do they get over for the first try of the game? It was Sofiane Guitane who picked up the pass from Maxime Medard right over on the left-hand touchline. The referee is going to go upstairs to see was the ball touched down, but that was all a little bit too easy for Toulouse.
Yeah, percentage play. Connacht had done really well. They managed to stop their maul. They had a couple of 3 or 4 good defensive sets in terms of stopping them, not giving them a whole lot of gain line. And then percentage play in the conditions. Ntamak put up a big high bomb crossfield, isolated Matt Healy. He wasn't able to control it. And therefore it looks like his foot's in touch here, so it might be, it looks like a get out for Connacht.
Yeah, you'll have heard from the TMO that the foot was in touch from Sofiane Guitane just as he touched the ball down out on that left wing. Good covering tackle by John Porch.
Two.
But it does mean Connacht now need to clear their line. 6.5 minutes gone in France. Toulouse 0, Connacht 0. Connacht beating Montpellier last week, and Toulouse starting with a victory against Gloucester, so whoever wins here will be in pole position to come out of Pool 2.
I think in the first 7 minutes here, I think Connacht have really stood up physically. They've been unlucky. Their indiscipline has just kind of killed them a small bit, but physically, certainly they've been up to the mark.
Option, Jerome, scrum or line.
Scrum or line is the option, because Connacht made a mess of that line out, pretty much on their own line. Just trying to have a look at a replay there, but it seemed as though Ultan Delan was the guilty party. It gives again Toulouse some good ball deep inside the Connacht half. The 4-time European champions putting on some pressure right at the start of this game, and they're going to take the scrum. And another big test for this Connacht pack.
Set.
On the 5-metre line, Quaylen Blade
Before the ball came in.
feels that the ball is alive. Kano tries to barge his way through. 5 metres out, some desperate defending needed. They were thinking about the offload there from Takuri. And now it's with Mao Vaca. He's just battering off some Connacht players, but then there's a knock on, a loose pass, and Lucas Tozan couldn't pick that ball up as it was passed back to him from Mao Vaca, and that allows Connacht to clear their lines and to get away with it.
Yeah, so really good defensive set there. They actually kept them on the 5-metre line, even though the bigger men were running at them. Good tackle technique and good opportunity, good kick down the middle of the pitch from Healy. So really, some really good defensive work from Connacht so far in the first 8.5 minutes. Big men running at them, low chop focus, forcing an offload, which is probably not the right option in these difficult conditions now.
It was Kyle Godwin, the Australian-born winger, who put in that big hit on the Toulouse hooker Piatu Mao Vaca.
Okay.
And then there was a strong challenge in there as well from John Porch again, as well Toulouse looked dangerous in broken play. So line out to Connacht, which they win. Owen Masterson claims that ball, and Connacht will try and push forward. Quaylen Blade at the back goes with the box kick, gets good decent distance on it up to the 22, where it's collected by Ramos for Toulouse. Out to that left wing to Medard. Maxime Medard coming infield and gives it to Sofiane Guitane. Toulouse not really going anywhere. Again, Connacht pressing up high and not giving them any space, and strong in the tackle. The ball goes back, and They're just going to try and clear their lines again, Toulouse, and get the ball further up pitch. Under it is Matt Healy, and Healy will drill it back into the 22. However, he didn't get the connection he wanted, and it's going to run out over the end line. And that a little bit wasteful from Matt Healy.
Both sides probably just looking to use the ball only for a couple of phases in their own half, and then looking to exit. Bit of a nothing kick there from Intermission down, kicks it straight down Healy's throat. Handles it very easy. He was probably unlucky. Right idea, trying to ping them into this left-hand corner here in front of us, but he just miscued it a small bit and just creeps over the try line for a 22 dropout.
Romain Ntamack, still only 20 years of age, son of the Toulouse legend Emile, who of course captained them to their first Heineken Cup back in 1995, the inaugural year of this tournament, which is now in its 25th season. Skipping through a couple of challenges and twisting and turning was Ulton Delan. Blade with that quick pass back to Tom Farrell. Farrell skips away from one challenge. Tom Farrell's going to go all the way. Try for Connacht. Wonderful play from Tom Farrell.
All comes from a fantastic carry by Ulton Delan. Fights really hard in the contact, ending out rolling out of one tackle, and then takes 2 or 3 defenders to get him down. Simple play. Blade comes back blind, goes behind two Connacht forwards, and it just opens up in front of Tom Farrell. You can even see he's kind of looking for Blade there on the inside, looks around, and there's no one near him, and he just walks in just to the right of the post. Really, really good score, and probably, I wouldn't say against the run of play, because Connacht have been in the Toulouse half more than Toulouse have been in theirs. Just some silly penalties have allowed Toulouse to exit out and relieve the pressure. Fantastic start here. First 12 minutes gone. You wouldn't want any more.
Oh, dream start for Connacht and for Tom Farrell on his first ever start in this tournament. Connacht lead 5-0, and the conversion to come from Conor Fitzgerald, who steps up left-footed and puts it straight between the posts, and Connacht lead Toulouse by 7 points to 0 in France, and their travelling supporters are loving that. It was shocking defence from Toulouse. It was almost as if they were waiting for a whistle, because Tom Farrell looked around and couldn't believe that suddenly with one little shimmy he found himself with the freedom of this stadium. It
just opened in front of him. I think Elstad didn't realise that Famuina was inside him and just isolated the prop, and Tom Farrell just went straight around him. But that try so early in the game gives Connacht a massive opportunity to come away with at least a point. The way Connacht play, they'll have opportunities to score another 2, 3, hopefully 3 tries, which should get them a point out of this game regardless. So great start.
And some of their big players stepping up there: Ulton Delan, Quaylen Blade, and Tom Farrell, who's been hugely impressive over the last 18 months, been in and around the Irish squad. And now Toulouse, after that early setback, will look to reset. They had the vast majority of territory in the opening 12 minutes of this game, but they find themselves 7 points to 0 down. Andy Friend will be absolutely delighted with his side's performance. He said they're very much up for it physically, but now Toulouse have men out wide. Skipping through the centre there is Ramos. Goes through one, and Toulouse are going to strike straight back, or are they? It was a brilliant challenge. I don't think it was enough, though, to stop Sébastien Bézi falling over the try line, and within a minute, Toulouse have got their first try of the game. Quick fire break through the middle from Thomas Ramos, the full back, and he just offloaded to his right-hand side to Sébastien Bézi. There was one desperate lunge to try and bring him down. It did just that, but he fell over the line, and Toulouse bounce and fire straight back.
Just not what you want to do off a kick-off after scoring, and that's not exit correctly. You know, they didn't get a good exit. They managed to set up a play after a carry off the kick-off, and then Blade doesn't get the ball inside Toulouse half. His box kick is just too short. They don't win the contest, and then there's some really good play. If you watch some dark arts play by Marivaka at the edge of the ruck there, blocking Heffernan to be able to get out and defend Bézi as he went back blind, and then his double touch on the ball puts him underneath the sticks. Disappointing after having such a bright start, just completely relieves the pressure and puts the ball back in Toulouse court now.
Thomas Ramos, the man who made the break that created that try for Toulouse, will take this conversion and a chance for Toulouse to level the game as we head for the quarter of an hour mark. A right-footed kick, very straightforward, and he puts it straight between the poles. So Toulouse 7, Connacht 7 is the scoreline with a quarter of an hour gone. And just as I said, Andy Friend will be delighted with Connacht's start. Well, that is the I'm not going to say inexperience, but on big European days, when you get in front, you just need to hang on for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, massively. You know, it's just all about, you know, 1-2 phase exit, play in the right area, and just make sure that you get outside your own half. That didn't happen there, and just shows how dangerous Toulouse are when they get their attacking opportunity in your half.
So we're right back at square one. Toulouse 7, Connacht 7 here on Off the Ball this Saturday afternoon. Nathan Murphy and Johne Murphy bringing you this live and exclusive national radio commentary. Later this evening we'll be down at Thomond Park for Munster against Racing. Neil Tracy will be down there alongside Liam Toland and Fiona Steed. That one getting underway at 5:30. Connacht line-out was crooked. Ulton Delan just having a word with the referee. And that's twice now the Connacht line-out has malfunctioned.
And they've been uncontested as well, which is probably the most worrying thing. You know, the pods haven't really got up for Toulouse to make it a real contest in the air. It's just been a malfunction from the hooker in terms of his throw, which is disappointing because, you know, that was Conor Fitzgerald was a great kick-off, really good chase. Then by Porsche on the right-hand side to put Richie Gray into touch. Another good opportunity gone to attack from just outside the 22. So disappointing. Just these simple mistakes are just giving Toulouse that opportunity just to relieve pressure. Scrum under a bit of pressure here too. Which hopefully now they can keep up. Just give them an opportunity to get the ball back themselves in the halfway, rather than giving them an opportunity, which they have done the last twice, to exit via penalty and get the ball back themselves.
So another scrum. Toulouse showed good character last week on the opening weekend. They were 11 points down against Gloucester at half-time. Turned it round to win that game convincingly. Yeah, the reigning top 14 champions, but a bit off the pace in Europe recently, but they've just won another penalty off the scrum. And I look at the referee, and the Connacht players don't look particularly pleased with how the referee is officiating at scrum time. Peter McCabe was the player at fault this time.
You look at the weights there, and they just of both packs, they're about 57 kilos in the difference in both caps.
Half a Johne Murphy.
Half a Johne. No, just a bit more. Just only a small bit, just a bit. So they are going to be under pressure at set piece, but they need to make sure that they don't give them opportunity to scrum. So line out, they just need to be more accurate, give themselves a bit more of an attacking platform.
Certainly at set piece, Toulouse have been the dominant side, both at scrum and line out. Hasn't clicked at all yet for Connacht. Here's Richie Gray. One-time British and Irish line, back to Jerome Kano. 36 years of age and captaining this Toulouse side. He carries the ball forward through a couple of yards. Another loose pass, an opportunity for Connacht to break, but the referee blows his whistle just as Robin Copeland thought he was going to break. But I think there was an offside there. Was it just as Sebastian Bezzi was looking to pass that ball?
The ball was just so quick there that the Connacht defenders just a bit of a lazy runner, just literally just didn't have enough time to get back onside.
Just on the 10, thank you.
So Thomas Ramos has the ball in hand. Toulouse 7, Connacht 7, as we head for the midway point of the first half here in France. You say if Connacht were to come away, considering the amount of changes, considering the experience that they're missing, with even a losing bonus point, could put them in a great position to reach the knockout stage of the Champions Cup for the first time in their history. But Toulouse have a penalty on the 10-metre line inside the Connacht half, and it is an opportunity for Thomas Ramos, the full-back, to put Toulouse in front. Steps up. Has he the distance? He does. It just about stays in that right-hand post, and Toulouse lead Connacht by 10 points to 7 midway through the first half.
All things being equal, not too bad a start, but when you actually look at it in context, it is, because Connacht have started quite brightly. It's been their own discipline and their inability to convert the pressure and their territory. They just keep giving Toulouse easy outs, which is just relieving the pressure massively for them.
Toulouse collect the restart. Is that where all the changes come home to roost? You've got players on the field who just aren't used to being in the same team together?
Yeah, probably just those inaccuracies, having not played together, or you know, being a couple of paces off. But that would hopefully mean that the more game time, the longer it goes, the better the opportunity you have to make sure that is the case.
Matt Healy over on the right-hand side for Connacht, almost dragged into touch. Quaylon Blade, quick ball back, and now it's Peter McCabe going backwards though, under huge pressure from Toulouse. Fitzgerald. And in there as well, making a nuisance of himself, was Quinn Rue. Quick ball again from Blade. There was a couple of Connacht players offside. It was a little grubber kick played forward, so it goes back to Ramos, who fires the ball deep into the Connacht half again. Underneath it is Conor Fitzgerald. Left-footed kick out towards the 22, straight into Toulouse hands though. It is once again easy ball for Maxime Médard, looking a lot like Wolverine these days.
It's a great.
There's some serious sideburns.
It's a great backfield cover by Conor Fitzgerald there after his kick. He tracked really hard in behind over to the right of Maynard. Tries a little chip kick, and Fitzgerald himself gathers it there, managing to get a penalty for playing the 9. Really good play by the young 10.
So a chance to kick for territory and put some pressure on this Toulouse side now. Conor Fitzgerald, former Munster player, was released from their academy back in 2018. Ireland under-20 international, and getting his chance today ahead of Jack Carty. So difficult for Andy Friend to try and manage his squad when just the big games coming quick and fast, particularly with the delay from the Rugby World Cup. They had Leinster and took a good beating against Leinster at the sports ground. Montpellier last weekend, Toulouse this weekend. They've the Kings in the Pro 14, then back-to-back games against Gloucester. You're straight into the Interprovincials and back to Champions Cup again. So he does need to rotate his squad. Connacht though on the Toulouse 22.
It doesn't get much harder than that in terms of a 12-week block.
Jerome Kano providing a red wall that they just struggled to get through, and a big hit then as well from Uge on Tom Farrell. Farrell though, and Connacht keep hold of possession. Blade across quickly. He's made a promising start to the season as he looks to put some pressure on Conor Murray and force himself into that Ireland squad under Andy Farrell for the Six Nations. Weaving his way through a couple of challenges is Kyle Godwin, but Connacht just struggling to gain any ground at the moment. Ball there to be won. Toulouse very nearly stole it back, and just raising his arms in front of the referee was Vaca, which allows Connacht to keep hold of the ball. They're in a central position just outside the 22, and Fitzgerald then goes back to Tom Daly, who sends a little kick in behind, but well collected by Toulouse, and they can clear their lines. And Connacht just looked a little bit short of ideas there.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's a tactic or not. There's been 3 or 4 of those little grubber kicks on the edge of the line coming from the second receiver. I'm not sure whether they're trying to isolate someone like Entomac, who was reloading down the blind side defensively, and they're trying to go after that space between him and Maynard. But I'm not sure whether you know, there is space there, but they just have to be very accurate, and they need to try and create a bit more doubt between those two players and really make sure that they cut in between them.
Better from Connacht on the line out as it's knocked down from Quinn Rue to Quaylon Blade. On the halfway line then, and another little kick over the top from Conor Fitzgerald right into the 22. Will it bounce the right way? Will it bounce over the end line? They took a risk there, a real risk, Maxime Médard, as he waited for the ball to pounce behind the end line. There was a Connacht player flying in just trying to touch it down. It was Conor Fitzgerald who followed up on his own kick.
Yeah, they are going after that space. They've obviously recognised something, that the backfield defender really tries to close the gate quite hard on the edge of the line. Like Maynard there, they forced him to turn, and that's surely a penalty for knocking the ball out. There's more than that. He needs to check that, surely, because he's after pushing the ball over.
Well, that's poor officiating, because as Conor Fitzgerald tore down on Maxime Médard, we were wondering if Fitzgerald had actually managed to get a touchdown, but just as he was about to get a touchdown, Médard, as you say, just
flicks the ball out.
Flicks the ball out.
Yeah.
Either way,
should be a penalty 5 metres out.
And Connacht's a lot further out, but they could well be through again. Big break for Connacht here now. Colby Fainga, and he gives it to Quaylon Blade, and Quaylon Blade is through, and Quaylon Blade dives over the line for Connacht's second try of this game, and once again it was so easy there was a parting of the Toulouse defence, and this time it was Colby Fainga, the Australian, who broke through, and on his right-hand side was Quaylon Blade. On his 100th appearance for Connacht, he slides over for the second try for the visitors in this game, and they're back in front.
Yeah, it was really good play. Very simple, just two short runners off 10, and then the connection between I think Guiton and the prop again. Faemi just completely severs. There's no connection there in defence whatsoever. And Fayanga goes through, so really patient on the ball. He has Heffernan on his inside, and then he has Blade on his right hand side, and then they run a dummy switch, and then he plays back to Blade. Excellent play, and really assured composure on the ball in that multi-phase part. Massive opportunity here now for Connacht to make sure that they come away with at least a try. When they hold on to the ball, they look extremely dangerous. Great score. They're properly in this game now.
Really impressive stuff for Connacht. Great resilience as well. They should have had the penalties, 5-metre penalty just moments before, but they didn't let their heads drop. And some quick hands, it suddenly opened up, and Quaylon Blade, on a landmark day for him in his 100th appearance, marks it with a try, and an opportunity now for Conor Fitzgerald to add his second conversion of the game. Left-footed. And again, he makes no mistake, straight between the posts from Conor Fitzgerald, and Connacht lead Toulouse by 14 points to 10. And we got a real good game in our hands now.
Conor Fitzgerald looks extremely comfortable, really assured, composed on the ball, and he looks like he has a lot of time on the ball. They're not really getting any line speed on him, not really putting him under pressure. He's making very good decisions whether to kick or pass. Really good play by him.
The restart collected by Quaylon Blade, who then fires it forward 40-50 yards. Let's very quickly get the half-time from the Premier League. Jose Mourinho taking charge of Spurs for the first time. They're up against West Ham United. What's going on?
West Ham 0, Spurs 2. Jose Mourinho making a terrific start then as Spurs boss his first 45 minutes, thanks in no small measure to Heung-min Son. Scored the first goal, great feat after a lovely ball from Dele Alli. That was in the 36th minute, and then Son turned provider 2 minutes before the interval, putting in a really wicked cross that Cresswell couldn't cope with at the far post, but Lucas Moura could to prod home. Hammers and Spurs, nothing much between them for the first half an hour. Spurs, though, put the accelerator down. It's 2-0.
So far, so good for Jose Mourinho. 2-0 up at half-time here in France. It's Toulouse 10 points, Connacht 14 points. Tries for Connacht from Tom Farrell and Quaylon Blade. 26 minutes gone at the venue of one of their most famous victories. And they won here 6 years ago. And this is the 7th meeting between the two sides in European rugby. Connacht have won 2 of them previously. And Blade's kick goes straight up high into the air, not collected though by Toulouse. And it was eventually came to Ntamak, whose crossfield kick was, I think he was caught in two minds exactly what to do. And it's picked up by Conor Fitzgerald, and he fires it back into the Toulouse 22. Well, Toulouse at home this season have been pretty much perfect. They've won all 4 of their home matches in the top 14. They've lost all 5 away, which is the most typical French record you could ever possibly find.
There's some good play there by Connacht. They actually won that territory battle. They ended up, they get the ball back just inside their own half, where when that set of phase started, Toulouse had a line out in this exact same position. So good control, good exit, and their exits have been much better, and they're not relieving pressure as easy as they were in the first 15 minutes.
And Connacht set piece has improved as the game has gone on, particularly their line out. Ulton Deland that time getting up well, and Connacht not gaining any yards, so they go back to the box kick again of Quaylon Blade. Will it drift out over the touchline? It will, and that's a mistake from Blade and gives Toulouse some easy territory, which they decide to just throw in the line out quickly. Maxime Médard, and they'll try and run this from deep. Toulouse bringing the ball up towards the half a line. Also a huge hit from Colby Fainga. Well, was there a little bit of a tip tackle there? He certainly seemed to lose control. The Toulouse player landed on his shoulder.
This is going to be an issue because when you slow it down, it's going to look like that. In real time, it looks like one of those. He lands on his back there. That's just a good shot for me. His shoulder blades land on the ground, really good hit, good technique. He doesn't tip him. He does go past the horizontal, I suppose, but he does land on his back. But when you slow it down, it always looks worse. So I think it's going to be a difficult one.
We've got him tipped above the horizontal.
Let's hear the conversation between referee and TMO.
And where he lands, please.
So you'll have heard the referee there, Carl Dixon, say that it was above horizontal.
You're talking to me now,
Well, Jeff?
Yeah, got that. Wait for it.
So you're breaking up on me.
Just
stand by, I'll get the pictures as soon as possible.
You take your time there, lads.
This is the issue on this. He does go across the horizontal. He does get looked after in the air, though, and he is placed on his back. He doesn't land on his neck or his shoulders. He lands on his shoulder blades, and it's the impact that pushes the ball out.
Is he placed on his back, or is he driving him down still? Is he protecting Ntamack as he hits the ground?
Look, it's a physical game. If you land on your back.
That's what I'm saying. Have you got anything different?
I don't know. I think that's a good shot. That's just my opinion, but
show that last angle you've just played.
Well, this could be an important moment.
I think if you looked at, they're going to the angles here now.
That last angle you just played.
If you look at the last angle, he lands on his back, not on his neck, not on his head. He does go above the horizontal, but then he lands on his back. He loses the ball on impact. That's a good shot.
On that, I'm seeing him land on his back. Back of his shoulder. So I'm thinking yellow card. Dean, do you have anything else to add there? Okay.
So it looks as though Connacht are going to be down to 14 men.
So, Carl, are you happy?
Captains, please. Jerome?
Jerome Kano called in, and so too is the Connacht captain, Quinn Rue. But Connacht are heading down to 14 men, it seems.
But he's landed on his back, so it's going to be a yellow card. Okay, so can I have it?
Well, that is a big blow and could well be a turning point in this match. Colby Fayanga, who made the break for Connacht for that second try, shown a yellow card. There are 12 minutes to go until half-time, so Connacht will play the majority of the rest of this first half, down to 14 men. And they're, I think, going to send Ntamack off for a HIA.
I think that's a penalty at most. Oh, who'd be a referee?
Why don't you step up, Johnny?
No, thanks.
You called that very well, in fairness. You just got the decision wrong.
Yeah, well, I think it was just a penalty. He does go above the horizontal, but he does land on his back, and it's the impact on the ground that dislodges the ball. So it's a difficult one to call, but I suppose player welfare comes into it, but I think a penalty is sanction enough for me. I don't think they deserve to be 10 minutes without a player.
The Toulouse out half, Romain Ntamack is off the pitch as well. He's jogging down the touchline beneath us to go for his HIA. He's been replaced by Peter Aki, former Connacht player who spent half a season at the club, made 8 appearances, and he's going to come on. But Connacht down to 14 men. They lead by 14 points to 10. And you got to say, it's been, well, considering the amount of changes they've made, very, very impressive. Toulouse, though, with well inside the Connacht half, win their line out, and now with the driving maul, trying to push forward towards the Connacht line. Connacht desperate defending there, just trying to bring them to ground. Eventually they do with Mauvaka. Toulouse still hold the ball. Jerome Kano skips through one challenge, eventually brought down by Tom Daly. Still there for Toulouse, piling up towards the Connacht line. There's space on this near side to Toulouse right. They held on to the ball a little bit too long. Still there for the team in red. And now Shota Corey. Oh, and it's a big hit from Matt Healy, but they're going to go back. Well, it looked like it was smashing defence, quite literally, from Matt Healy, but the referee is going to go back for an earlier infringement against Connacht.
It's so difficult to defend Toulouse, and they get into that situation in green zone because they're looking for that offload, even off the deck. And it just doesn't give your defence a chance to set at all. Really good edge defence there for Matt Healy, coming in, hitting man and ball. Ball goes forward off him in the tackle, so not deemed a penalty, but really good shot there. But it's just so hard. Unlike any other team, Toulouse don't look for when they go into contact, they look to keep the ball alive all the time, even in green zone, which, you know, even in the opposition 22, which is so hard then to reset your defence and keep coming forward off the line. Good play.
So Toulouse have kicked to the corner, and again they will try and drive to the line. looked as though some of the Connacht players just fell straight to ground, and around the 5-metre line, Robin Copeland there over the top of the Toulouse players trying to steal the ball back. Referee tells him to take his hands away. All this happening over on the far side of the pitch with Toulouse attacking down to our right-hand side. Remember, Connacht down to 14 men. Cyril Bay, the loose head prop, isn't gaining any yards. Some strong defending again by Connacht. These are big moments, you feel, in terms of this game. If they could somehow hold Toulouse out here. Jerome Kano only gains about half a yard. Right under the post now, Toulouse, looking for their second try of the game. Spinning through is Albin Placine, the back row. He gains another half a yard. They're getting ever closer. Toulouse. They trail by 14 points to 10. The referee blows his whistle.
We've got one offside.
This time, Owen Masterson is the player who's offside. So we're going to go back for another penalty to Toulouse. Just about hung on so far, Connacht. But there's definitely an air of inevitability of this Toulouse attack. Unless the French side make a mistake, it's hard to see how Connacht can survive without giving up a try.
And I'd say Connacht lads underneath the post, hoping that they take a kick at sticks there and try and make it 14-13 rather than going for what they've gone for here in the scrum. This, you know, this set of play is really important in terms of going in at half time to try and make sure that they go in a lead or behind. But it's just so hard. They're such big men, the Toulouse forwards coming around the corner. You just have to make sure that you're getting your offside line set. Can't afford to give away cheap penalties, because Robin Copeland managed to get over the ball in the final ruck, which would have been a penalty the other way. So just again, just their discipline is letting them down at pivotal moments.
Scrum on the 5-metre line for Toulouse then. Can Connacht hold out? Advantage again for Toulouse, driven back by the Connacht defence though. The ball eventually comes to Thomas Ramos. They have space over on this now. Surely it's going to be a second try, and in the right-hand corner is Johan Uge. Kyle Godwin got across to get the tackle in, but it was too little, too late. And Toulouse do get their second try. Johan Uge, the veteran French international, got the pass from Maxime Médard. He dived to the corner to put Toulouse back in front, and once again the momentum swings to the French side.
Just a numbers issue there. Matt Healy tries to do the same, get man and ball, and then they just push the ball to the edge. And no better man in French rugby to finish in such close quarters than Huget. But as you said, Nathan, before, the scrum did have a sense of inevitability about it. Just the pressure that they were building in the first 5 minutes of the first 5 minutes of the bin, kind of knew it was coming just by the pressure. Interesting enough, they're going back to look here, see whether he did ground the ball or not. So from a Connacht perspective, I'm hoping that they find something.
Yes, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it now.
So just a few communication issues
coming up
between the referee and the TMO. They can't seem to hear each other. It seems to be the grounding. Well, if the try is given, it'll be Toulouse 15, Connacht 14, with the conversion to come. Let's just see, was there an issue? Well, he tried to drive the ball down as the tackle came in from Kyle Godwin. Did it just come out of his hands as he was about to touch it down? Certainly didn't look an issue in the first couple of replays. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay, Carl, this is Jeff. You may award the try. You may award the try.
Try given, absolutely nothing wrong with that.
I can't hear you, I apologise.
So Johan Uge, the veteran of 62 French caps, scores the try for Toulouse. And an opportunity for Thomas Ramos, who was a part of that French squad at the World Cup, to kick the conversion and extend Toulouse lead to 3 points.
Put the flag up, that's okay. Put the corner flag up, cheers.
So out on this right-hand touchline, not the most straightforward of kicks, and he pulls it to the left and well wide. So a bit of a let-off for Connacht. Just a 1 point game. Toulouse 15 points, Connacht 14 points. And Connacht with another 3 minutes and 10 seconds of playing with 14 men. And you felt it at the time, the second that Colby Fayanga made that challenge. If he did receive a yellow card, it could be a massive moment in this game, because Toulouse difficult enough to play against with 15.
Yeah, I think if they can just manage the last 4 minutes now of this half, try and make sure that they play in Toulouse half and go in the way they are, 15-14, 1 point down, they'll be happy, and it lends themselves, they can have another good crack at 15 men for 14 minutes after half time.
Yeah, they certainly had a good crack at it so far in this game.
Just no easy get outs for them. Everyone stay on side, no penalties. Just make sure that you're wide and wide in this situation, because you will get the ball back.
Well, here come Toulouse running it from deep. Some risky passing there on their own 22. And the tackle from what looked to be an offside position from Quinn Rubin. Was there a knock on from Peter Aki?
Great tackle there from Rue. They looked like they had men over on the edge. Actually, Aki didn't. I don't think he realised that Quinn Rue was on his inside. Great tackle, forcing up. The only problem is they're going to a scrum here where they're 7v8. So just kind of need to get the ball in, out, and try and build something. Hopefully, try and get a penalty at sticks, where they might even go in front.
That was a smashing challenge from Quinn Rue. There were quick hands from Maxi Madar and Thomas Ramos as they tried to break from their own 22. As you say, Peter Aki was caught somewhat unawares. So, scrum Connacht, midway inside the Toulouse half. 3 minutes to go until half-time. Toulouse 15, Connacht 14 here and off the ball. Quayla Blake gets it in, doesn't get it out quickly, and as you can hear, the scrum just spun around.
And he actually didn't get it was tough there. Heffernan didn't get he got a hook on it, but he didn't have any kind of aggression in the hook to get it back to Copeland's feet. It kind of got stuck in the second row, which means and they're under such pressure in the scrum, even with a full man scrum. Now they have 7 men, they're under the cosh a bit. They need to get the ball back as quick as they can to Copeland's feet so he can pick and go off the base.
All right, let's very quickly get the latest from West Ham against Tottenham. There's been another goal.
West Ham 0, Spurs 3. Harry Kane with a thumping header. Where was the defence? So as the cross came in, there seemed to be a couple of defenders around Kane, but he climbed higher and better than either of them to thump past the keeper from Aurier's fine cross. West Ham 0, Spurs 3.
Dream start for Jose Mourinho at Tottenham. 3-0 up against their London rivals West Ham United. All the day's football to come with John Duggan after this game from 3 o'clock, and then we're on air all the way through till 8, because at 5:30 at Thomond Park it's Munster against Racing. We'll also keep you right up to date with what happens between Lyon and Leinster. That one throws in at 3:15. Currently in that group, Benetton lead Northampton 22-8, and Connacht do get the ball out, and it's their full back Matt Healy on this left-hand side. He's just going to be forced over the touchline, is he? He just dropped the ball before he did. It was there to be won, and eventually somebody's foot is out with ball in hand.
Needs to be better there from Connacht. They go down blind. They're playing the percentage play, but need to work really hard off the touchline in these conditions. Given that the grass is so greasy, you can be pushed towards the touchline, and it's difficult. They just relieving pressure at those pivotal moments, as I've already said. They could have closed the game out, held the ball for a minute. Nice, keep it tight, kick the ball out, go off 1 point down. Where now they're just giving the ball back to Toulouse.
Line out to Toulouse on their own 22. Reinhard Elstad, the South African, is the one who claimed that line out. We're into the final 40 seconds before half-time. Connacht, you feel, will be happy to just get in at the break with that 1 point deficit, trying to push Toulouse out over the end line, but the referee blows his whistle again, and there's some foul play there from Ulton Delan this time.
Swimming up the maul to try and get on the ball. Penalty count is now 8-1 in Toulouse's favour. It's hard enough to win away from home, but you have to make sure that you can hold your discipline, not giving them easy outs like they have done throughout the half.
And maybe an opportunity for Toulouse to get what would be a big score just before half-time. We're ticking into the red, and the next stoppage in play will be the end of this first half. A first half where, funny enough, Connacht haven't really fired on all cylinders, but have scored 2 tries and are just a point down away from home against Toulouse. So Andy Friend, considering the amount of changes he's made, has got to be relatively pleased with that.
Yeah, definitely. They just need to try and make sure that they go in and there's no change to score.
There's a mistake there, and the ball is free in the centre of the pitch, and a knock on from a Connacht player in the middle of the pitch because there was a loose pass from Toulouse. For a split second, thought Connacht might be away, but the referee blows his whistle, and that is the end of the first half of the Stade Ernest-Wallon. Toulouse 15, Connacht 14. Tries from Tom Farrell and Quaylon Blade have twice put Connacht in front, but Toulouse have struck back every time, and when we restart at the second half, Connacht at least will be back to 15 men aside after Colby Fayanga was yellow carded on half an hour. So very much all to play for in Pool 2. Second half commentary to come for myself and Johne Murphy.
Now, thanks, Nathan, and thanks, Johnny. Remember, our rugby coverage brought to you by Vodafone. Team of us, everyone in. So 57 minutes on the watch at the London Stadium. West Ham United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 3 in the Premier League. What a dream start for Jose Mourinho, going beautifully following goals by Heung-min Son, Lucas Moura and Harry Kane. 53106, folks, on the text number. Jose Mourinho at Spurs, an appointment you welcome if you're a Spurs fan, or you sad to see Pochettino go. Where do you stand, folks, as well on the Republic of Ireland after the draw against Denmark last Monday, which means we have to beat Slovakia and either Bosnia or Northern Ireland to get to Euro 2020. I'm John Duggan. Off the Ball Saturday on News Talk. Text us 53106. Also get in touch with us on the Off the Ball social channels. Don't go away.
Toulouse versus Connacht, live from Stade Ernest-Wallon.
On Off the Ball. Screen Time with John Farty.
It's the movie that just won't let it go. This week on Screen Time, we review Frozen 2 and ask if it was worth the wait. I chat to renowned filmmaker Stephen Bradley about shooting and cutting his way through the movie business and cancer. Plus, Cork comedian Chris Kent on his favourite movie.
Screen Time with John Farty.
Brought to you by Stella Cinemas.
Listen and subscribe to the podcast now, or tune in Saturday at the later time of 9 p.m.
on News Talk.
It's no surprise that the Toyota Yaris is the best-selling car in its class. Stylish design, incredible fuel efficiency with great extra spec as standard, including a rear-view parking camera. And for a limited time, you'll also enjoy a trade-in booster of up to €2,500 on petrol and 3-year servicing on all models. The Toyota Yaris, now from just €16,160. Toyota, built for a better world. Terms and conditions apply. Price excludes delivery and related charges.
Let the festivities begin with a third off our wonderful range of artificial trees and Christmas lights. Homebase. Feels good to be home. Offer ends 18th of December. Black Friday again. Wouldn't it be nice to get something more inspiring, more priceless? Like sharing special moments on a tropical island or taking in a sunset over a perfect forest. Explore a world of priceless experiences with Emirates special return fares from €499 when you fly from Dublin. Book by the 26th of November 2019. Fly Emirates. Fly better. Terms, conditions and fare exclusions apply.
Tomorrow, it's Sheffield United v Man United in a tough test for both teams. And with Now TV, you can watch all the action live for a one-off payment of just €10. Hold on, they're checking with VAR.
That's confirmed, it's €10.
You've got to love the modern game. So, to only pay for the games that matter to you, grab a Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass. Search Now TV Sports. 18 plus, content streamed via internet, full terms apply.
Thank goodness it's Black Friday, and what a day we're having. A day of discounts, music, mini fashion shows and a spin and win event throughout the day. This Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 2 hours free parking. See you there. See pavilions.ie for details.
Smith's Toys Superstores proudly presents Late Night Opening until 11 p.m. Now Barbies and board games, Pokemon and Paw Patrol, Lego and llamas are all available Monday to Friday till 11 p.m. until the 23rd of December. So you can beat the queues and pick up everything you need. Smith's Toys Superstores, now open until 11 p.m. Selected stores only.
Just when you thought all Black Fridays are the same, there's no need to get excited. Easy Living comes along with an exclusive sale and you are personally invited. Designer deals, absolute steals in living, dining and more. Sofas and chairs, beds and homewares. Online and in every store. But you won't find these offers anywhere else. So hurry before it's too late. The Easy Living Interiors Black Friday sale, definitely worth the wait. Easy Living Interiors, Cork, Waterford, Navan, Naas, Sandyford, Drogheda and Wexford. Sale now on.
To win the league,
What about your man playing up front? He's on fire at the minute. Game will be over by half-time.
Thanks, Mr. Taxi Man, but opinions nicked from sports radio won't help us hit the jackpot. The Hunch just picks the first 4 scorers in 4 selected games with Betway's 4 to score. Conversation over.
Heed your hunch with Betway's 4 to score for a weekly rollover jackpot. Selections must be submitted before the opening time of each scheduled round. Where there is more than one winner, main prize will be divided between winners. Full terms apply. 18 plus. Dunlewy.net.
They were magic nights. This Christmas at Golden Discs. Magic Nights, the new collection of songs from Christy Moore.
In the prison of the gift.
And Thanks for the Dance, the new album from Leonard Cohen.
So I never had
new albums from Christy Moore and Leonard Cohen. Out now at Golden Discs and goldendiscs.ie.
The road to a better world begins here with Toyota's incredible range of self-charging hybrids, where you're in electric mode on average more than 50% of the time you drive without plugging in, saving fuel and lowering emissions. That's the hybrid advantage. And now there are amazing offers, including trade-in boosters of up to €3,000. But demand is high, so don't miss out. Start your electric journey in a Toyota hybrid today. Toyota, built for a better world. Terms and conditions apply.
Over the last number of years, AIB have been working to build a more sustainable business. We have invested in wind energy projects, launched a €5 billion climate action fund, signed a low-carbon pledge, and yet it's still not enough. We will keep telling ourselves that every day. AIB alone is not the solution to climate change, but we're doing everything we can to be a part of it. AIB, we pledge to do more. Allied Irish Banks plc is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Toulouse versus Connacht, live from Stade Ernest-Wallon.
On Off the Ball.
This is Off the Ball Saturday, and it's Toulouse 15, Connacht 14 in the first of our 2 commentary games today. Back with the Murphys, the 2 Murphys, Nathan and Johnny in France shortly. Also bringing you live coverage of Munster against Racing Metro with Neil Tracy, Liam Toland and Fiona Steed from Thomond Park after 5 o'clock. We're on until 8 o'clock this evening. 53106 for your texts. Let's hear what's going on at the London Stadium. West Ham against Spurs. Guy Swindles.
West Ham 0, Spurs 3. All too easy for Jose Mourinho. Indeed, you wonder if Maurizio Pochettino would have been sacked if he had been allowed to play be in charge of Spurs in this match. So inept have West Ham been. But Spurs have done what they've had to do. First half goals from Son and Moura, and then a fine header from Harry Kane, under very little pressure, it must be said, in the second half, has really set them up. West Ham 0, Spurs 3.
West Ham have been absolutely dreadful. A 5th defeat in 6 Premier League games, staring them at the face. Spurs will enjoy this one tonight. So Jose Mourinho, the humble one, with a victory in his first game. The way the whole league is truncated, Spurs are going to go from 14th to 6th temporarily. So it's all a bit mad if you're kind of below the top 5 at the moment in the Premier League. Let's go around the grounds for the 3 o'clock kickoffs. The leaders, Liverpool, away to Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. Nigel Bidmead.
International breaks are troublesome for Liverpool. They disrupt the rhythm and momentum on which Jurgen Klopp's outstanding side thrives. And Crystal Palace are hard work. Roy Hodgson, a former Reds boss with a point to prove, sets up his blue-collar outfit to graft and grind. But as other top 6 sides have discovered, Palace also have other qualities.
Now it's Arsenal against Southampton at the Emirates. Andrew Cheel.
Arsenal are winless in 4 Premier League matches. Southampton have picked up just 1 point from a possible 21. Saints boss Ralph Hasenhüttl, well, some pundits are rating this as a must-win game for him. Mind you, the same could be said for Gunners boss Unai Emery, particularly with the special one installed up the road and likely to be grabbing a lot of the spotlight. It's Arsenal in 6th place against Southampton 19th at the Emirates.
Will Grada Xhaka feature? It's Everton against Norwich at Goodison. Paul Anthony.
This week, Everton celebrate the centenary of Harry Catterick, the man who twice led them to the old First Division Championship, but dreams of recapturing those glory days seem a long way off for today's Everton, who currently sit 15th in the table on 14 points after 12 games. Today's opponents, Norwich, have earned just 1 point and scored 1 goal in the last 6 games. Defeat today would see them equal their top-flight record of failing to score in 6 consecutive away fixtures. From Goodison Park, it's Everton against Norwich.
It's the Seagulls of Brighton against the high-flying Birds of Leicester. Richard Newman.
This is Leicester's best ever start to a season, better than their Premier League title win in 2016. They sit second behind Liverpool and visit Brighton, having won their last 4 league games. So can they keep this form up? Brendan Rodgers appears to be having a huge impact in his first full season in charge. Jamie Vardy's form has been revitalised, 20 goals in 22 Premier League games under Rodgers. Host Brighton are also in decent nick, mid-table, chasing a 4th successive home win, but without their suspended captain Lewis Dunk today. It's Brighton and Hove Albion against Leicester City.
It's Bournemouth against Wolves at 3 with Alan Lewis.
Two teams with their eyes firmly set on a top 6 finish this season. Bournemouth, the very definition of a mid-table team so far. 4 wins, 4 draws and 4 defeats. But Wolves are banging form after a slow start. They're unbeaten in 7 league games and have lost just once in the last 12 in all competitions. Any fears of a Europa League campaign could cause them problems in the Premier League appear unfounded. A grey and wet afternoon on the south coast for Bournemouth against Wolves.
And Watford against Burnley, Michael Lawrence.
Both of these teams enjoyed much-needed wins going into the international break. Watford start the day in the relegation zone, but manager Quique Sanchez-Flores has shored things up at the back since his return. Their home record this season is poor, though, and today they face a Burnley side with the second worst away record in the division, despite starting the day 10th in the table. It's over 7 years since Burnley boss Sean Dyche left the hot seat here, the first of 10 managerial changes to take place at the club since. It's Watford v Burnley at Vicarage Road.
Now, any of you know me will know I'm a racing head. So we're going to keep you up to date, of course, and off the ball this afternoon on 2 big races. The 205 at Ascot, the Christie 1965 Chase, Altior, who never loses a race, against Surname, who's brilliant going right-handed. And at 3 o'clock, the Betfair Chase, that Grade 1 at Haydock. Only 4 runners, pretty disappointing that. Bristol de Mai, who loves it around there, Lost in Translation, Frodon and Ballyoptic. Now, what is going on in Dubai in the World Tour Championship? The race to Dubai, well, the round 3 is over. Irish Open champion John Ram and Michael Lorenzo Vera of France, they share the lead on 15 under par. Rory McIlroy right in contention on 13 under after a 65 today. Shane Lowry's back on 5 under par. Let's hear from McIlroy now. He told a reporter, Dennis Kerwin, he was happy with his day's work, but there's plenty left to do in his final round of the season.
Yeah, it was good. You know, you got off to a hot start again, 5 under through 9, and the back 9 played a little tricky, so to play that bogey free was nice. I had a few chances that I didn't quite convert. I probably should have birdied 15, and I would have liked to have birdied the last, but I'll take it. I'm not complaining. It was a good round of golf, and it gives me a good chance going into the final day. Got Tommy and John up there, obviously, and Mike's holding steady at the top. He played wonderfully yesterday. I played with him, and it seems like he's doing a similar thing today. So I'm going to have to go out there and shoot a similar score tomorrow to what I did today to really have a chance. But just really pleased that I got myself back in the golf tournament.
Rory, of all the tournaments you've won, I think you haven't won the same place 3 times or the same tournament 3 times. Oh, really? It'd be a nice box to tick, wouldn't it?
That would be a nice box to tick. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it is nice to come back to courses that you're familiar with all the time, and that brings its own advantages, I guess, compared to maybe some of the other guys in the field. But yeah, it'd be nice, and it's been a great year so far, and this is my last event of the year, and it would be wonderful going into the break to finish on a high.
And it was nice to finish with a nice putt today. I mean, obviously you were under pressure for par in the last, but it was a beautiful putt for par.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wasn't quite comfortable over the 5-wood. The second shot, it was in that semi-rough, and I was thinking it could come out with no spin. And if it did, the wind wouldn't touch it and it would go long, and that's tricky as well. So I was sort of in 2 minds about how the ball was going to come out, so I just didn't really commit to it. But yeah, great up and down. It was nice to see that ball just slide in the right side, and go bogey free today was nice.
I don't know if you're ever playing football, folks, you get the ball front full to the face, like Harry Kane has just been blasted into the face from a free kick, but he's okay, I think. West Ham 0, Tottenham Hotspur 3. Back to Dubai. Let's hear from Shane Lowry. Not going to win the race to Dubai, pretty obvious about that. John Ram now the in-running leader of that contest, but Lowry says plenty to play for tomorrow.
Shane, 4 birdies, 2 bogeys, a solid round of 70, and you're probably feeling okay coming in after that round. Probably a little bit better maybe even than yesterday's 68.
Yeah, there wasn't much solid about it, to be honest. I think I hit 4 fairways, which is not great, and of course we're very wide fairways, and I just kind of struggled most of the day, but I grounded out very well, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It was nice to birdie the last, and I'm still within a shout of a good week. I'm probably a bit far behind the leaders, but you never know. I've shot a low Sunday here before, and hopefully I can go out and do that tomorrow.
After a sluggish enough start, things started to kind of take off for you around the turn.
Yeah, I got very lucky on the 8th. I got a friendly, I got a nice drop, and I managed to take advantage of that, and then I birdied 9, and hold a good putt in 11, and I was kind of off and running then, and I got a bit unlucky on 12. Actually, felt like I should have made par there, and but yeah, look, to be honest, like, golf is such a funny game because, chalk and cheese how I played the last 2 days, and similar enough scores. It's kind of, it puzzles me at times. I played lovely yesterday and felt like I struggled out there today, but I did what I do best today. I got the ball around in as few strokes as I could have. 70 was a good score the way I played today, so I'm happy enough with that.
Shane Lowry there. Some of your texts on 53106. Walking in a Jose Wonderland from Phil and Kilkenny, and I wouldn't be getting carried away with the Spurs result, John. West Ham are a mess. You're absolutely right, Tim and Sandyford. Now time to go back to France for live commentary of the second half of Toulouse and Connacht with the crack team of Murphy and Murphy. Sounds like a cop buddy movie, but it's not. Let's join former Munster and Leicester player Johne Murphy and the Sports Broadcaster of the Year, Nathan Murphy.
Don't like to talk about it, John. Don't like to talk about it. Welcome back to Toulouse, where it is very tight at half-time. Toulouse leading Connacht by a single point. Perfect timing. Toulouse 15 points, Connacht 14 points, and both sides very much back as they started, as Toulouse make the mistake from the restart and kick the ball straight out in the full. And Romain Ntamack, who is back on the pitch, he went off for a HIA. It's lashing rain at the moment, but he goes out, he picks up a bit of grass and just tries to intimate that maybe the wind changed, like a golfer when he just takes the wrong club, ever so slightly overhit that kick, but it means Connacht get a scrum right on the halfway line.
Get the ball back straight away, an opportunity to put it deep into the Toulouse half. I think, at half time it's really important now that you're in a position, yes, you can win the game, but most importantly stay within one score, and then last 5-10 minutes really have a go at it. But it's really important that you manage the game with the conditions the way they are now. The rain is starting to come down, play in the correct areas, and probably the team without the ball the most is probably the team that's going to come up trumps. Let the other team make the mistakes.
Thomas Ramos takes the mark as the ball was drilled forward from the Connacht 22. Toulouse generally have looked the stronger in the scrum, so Connacht that time getting the ball out quickly, and it will be sent out for a Connacht line out pretty much on the halfway line. And the really pleasing thing for Andy Friend will be that his side are away from home against one of the big boys of European rugby. Haven't played well, yet are still just a point behind, so a lot of room for improvement. And remember, this is a Connacht side without Bundyaki, Jack Carty only among the replacements, Ni Adiolocum didn't travel, their captain Jared Butler isn't here, Finlay Beelum to come off the bench, so by no means at full strength.
I think the main thing, if they can manage their discipline in this half and make sure that it's not a repeat of an 8-1 deficit in terms of penalties against you, they really have a chance. And remember, Jack Carty has to come off the bench, as you said, Nathan, and there's no better man to try and control a game in terms of these conditions. He's used to it over in Galway, that's for sure.
Driving maul helps Connacht gain a few yards, which was something we didn't see in the first half. The box kick from Quaylon Blade puts Toulouse on the back foot on their own 22. Good pressure from Connacht. They were up off the line quickly, and now it's Faumina. Big man, the former All Black, part of their 2015 World Cup squad. Plenty of experienced players in this Toulouse side, but really they just want to get themselves to the spring and get Cheslin Colby back firing in all cylinders, because he is the X factor. He is the one player who maybe could turn this Toulouse side into genuine contenders. Oh, a risky pass and a mistake from Connacht, and a real opportunity. Now Tozan kicks the ball forward to the 22. Connacht all over the shot, but eventually it's picked up there by Conor Fitzgerald. Such a loose pass. Connacht playing themselves into all sorts of trouble, and they've lost about 30-40 yards there. Now they're on their own 22. Just about got away with that.
Can't do that, going from a really good attacking opportunity just inside Toulouse's half. Literally just a really wayward pass puts them back into their 22. Have to make sure that you manage the ball in these conditions really well. As I said already, the team that does that better is going to be the one that comes out on top.
High up and under as well, collected by Quaylon Blade as he was closed down by Ntamack. And the referee just collides there with Quinn Rue. And play continues as, again, it's kicked forward by Quaylon Blade, and it's collected by the fullback for Toulouse, Thomas Ramos. He's brought to ground almost on the halfway line. Desi goes back to El Stade, the South African, drives forward to gain a couple of yards for Toulouse in red. Attacking down to our left-hand side, Connacht in blue, trailing by a point with almost 4 minutes gone in the second half here and off the ball. Munster against Racing to come your way from 5:30. We're on air all the way through till 8 this evening. Matt Healy, he's very much the golden boy of Connacht rugby when they won the Pro 12 back in 2016. And Connacht with possession of the ball. Blade quickly back to McCabe. He can't gain any yardage. And then a sliced kick out to this near side, the Toulouse left. And an opportunity for Maxime Médard to maybe accelerate forward. He was just put under enough pressure from Porch that he couldn't gain any ground, and then it's Faumina who's somehow dragged to the ground. And now Ntamack skips away from the challenge of Quinn Roux, but on the halfway line he's brought down. Off the line quickly there was Tom Farrell, just forcing Toulouse back a couple of yards. Faumina takes on the initial challenge from Daly. Toulouse been made to work hard for their yards. There's a little bit of afters on the ground between Daly and Faumina, and again the referee just telling them to move on with it. I don't know if there was anything too dangerous in that, and this time Conor Fitzgerald kicks the ball straight to Toulouse player. Their kicking game hasn't been right at it really at the start of this second half, Connacht.
No, I was just about to say they're actually manufacturing their exits very well and putting themselves in a good position, but their execution of the kick is poor currently. They've had 3 or 4 kicks where they're looking for the correct space, they're in the correct positions, they're just not executing the kick the way it should be, which is disappointing because they're actually managing the territory quite well. Their kicking game was on point, and it put Toulouse under a lot more pressure.
Faumina manages to barge his way through and gains 10 yards for Toulouse, brings them up to the halfway line. And the referee gives a free kick to Toulouse. That was real strong play from Charlie Faumina, the former All Black. He is an absolute giant, and he's got good feet as well. Just made life very difficult.
Needless penalty there that gives Toulouse the opportunity, if they wanted to go to kick out sticks or kick deep into the Connacht's half. You know, it was a simple contest for the ball and a tackle. You know you have to release the tackler. Just silly. Their execution is their discipline is really going against them at the moment. They just need to make sure that they just manage that better than they have been.
Now that allows Toulouse to gain ground into the Connacht 22, where Toulouse will have a line out. Raining once again in France. It's making conditions not ideal. It's been a very scrappy start to the second half, with Toulouse leading 15-14. Toulouse claimed their line out and again try and barge their way forward. It looked like there was a somewhat unnecessary challenge. They try to go down the blind side. Connacht looking to push the Toulouse man out over the sideline. It doesn't happen, and they manage to recycle the ball with Joe Takuri. Back to Faumina, who's seen a lot more of the ball in this second half, maybe in these conditions. Toulouse just going to try and use their brawn. Now Richie Gray is involved, but Bezzy goes back to Tolzan. And Toulouse starting to drift out towards that right-hand side. Ntamack to Tolzan, who goes straight through the middle. And Connacht looking to try and steal the ball, and that is wonderful play from Tom Farrell with the turnover. Toulouse applying the pressure, but Farrell managed to get his body across, win the ball back for Connacht, and under pressure inside the 22. That is a huge moment for Andy Friend's side.
Yeah, massive. Really good defensive set there. And it all started with their maul D. They stood up, they managed to get it to ground, nearly drag them into touch. And then, even though there was 3 or 4 phases after that maul, they didn't go anywhere. You know, they held them, they won the gain line in terms of their collisions. They've been very positive in their tackle technique and going forward, managing that. And super technique there from Farrell, straight in over the ball, and then just make sure that Townsend had no opportunity to place the ball. Really, really good defensive set, which is going to be massive as we go forward into the last 30 minutes. Really good.
And Andy Friend already preparing to unload the bench. Finlay Beelam's going to come on very shortly. Line out one by Connacht, and they'll run it from the halfway line. Gaining some yards, Fayanga back on the pitch after his earlier sim bidding. Good quick hands from Connacht again, putting them under real pressure. And Quaylon Blade is away inside the 22. Still Quaylon Blade looking for his second try, with Connacht trailing by a point. Real pressure now being exerted by the visitors here in Toulouse. Blade throws it back then to Robertson McCoy on the 22. Through the middle, Tom Farrell gains a couple of yards. Little bit isolated there, needs some support. Comes from Matt Healy, and now it's Owen Masterson brought to ground. Big moments now for Connacht as they look to score their third try of the game. Inside the Toulouse 22. Quaylon Blade, quick hands, gives it to Farrell. Took a heavy hit there, Tom Farrell. The ball went backwards. There's going to be a drop goal, and it is kicked straight between the posts. Smart play from Conor Fitzgerald.
Really smart play. Nothing was on. It got quite messy around the ruck. And then Symbol just pops a really nice pot shot, drop goal. A nice bit of dark arts there by Toulouse's prop by as they were running through, as Blade was running through. You could see him, you can see it here in the replay in front of us, that he was being he had hold of Robin Copeland's jersey, and if Blade had actually played Copeland there, he might have been under his sticks. But some really good smart play, cheating, but if he gets away with it, it's good play. But again, I've been very impressed with Fitzgerald throughout the 50 minutes. He's been really calm, controlling what he's doing, and just shows that he's managing the game extremely well. Puts Connacht 2 points up. Good play, Connacht.
Toulouse 15, Connacht 17, and that is really smart play, you would have to say, from Conor Fitzgerald. We weren't expecting him. He had just dropped into the pocket. He was only about 15 metres out. Left-footed straight between the posts as Connacht were taking some heavy hits, and it does give them the lead. And it feels as though this is going to be such a tight game. Even a losing bonus point would be big for Connacht in terms of progressing from this group. But the way they've played, and well, really the way Toulouse haven't played, maybe they can come away with a whole lot more. They're starting to unload the bench. Shane Delahunt and Matt Burke have come into the front row. There's a loose ball in there. Toulouse have lost it, and Connacht win back possession again.
Quinn Roux has been exceptional in the tight quarters. He's led the physical battle, and there Ramos tries to carry into him. He holds him up. Exceptional play, really, really good. And Quinn Roux was managing the physical, and he's probably taken all of the Toulouse back on his own here. He's been brilliant, excellent work.
Connacht breaking down this near side, the right, and they managed to win themselves the penalty. And Connacht suddenly, with that drop goal, and really from that turnover inside their own 22 from Tom Farrell, they seemed to take so much confidence from that. It swung momentum back in their favour again. And whether Toulouse have been complacent, they haven't been able to take advantage at all against the Connacht side, who by and large haven't been anywhere near their best.
Yeah, no, really good play. And you can hear now that the people that you can hear around the stadium are the Connacht supporters. Really, really good play. And it's just drive. They've come to life now, and they just managed. That is an excellent kick from Conor Fitzgerald. 5 metres out, line out. Massive here now. If they can manage this small and potentially get a try, this is huge. Conor Fitzgerald, excellent play. Backed himself, left-footed kick to the right touchline. Really good. Curls it in just on the 5 metre. Excellent play round, all round.
Well, this is turning into a big day for Conor Fitzgerald. Still only 22 years of age, giving the start at out half with Jack Carty left on among the replacements, and still they have Carty to come on and try and see out this game. But Connacht deep inside the Toulouse 22. They win the line out, and now they'll try and put some pressure on with a fully fresh front row, pushing towards that Toulouse line. Can this red wall withhold? Connacht leading by 2 points. Toulouse under enormous pressure there. Connacht gaining a couple of yards. Can they force themselves over the line? It looks as though Toulouse have done enough. Quaylon Blade waiting for the ball to emerge. The referee blows his whistle, and there's some foul play as there is a penalty to Toulouse, and that is a big missed opportunity for Connacht.
I think it's just a scrum there, but the referee needs to be a bit more consistent in that position. He penalised Connacht earlier on for swimming around. Takori there comes around. They manage to spin the maul towards the post, but they swim around even though, and they get in a position where they can't present the ball. So just a small bit of consistency there around that probably would have helped Connacht in that position.
Well, the conditions have made it a grueling enough afternoon, so both sides unloading the bench. We'll go to Spurs in a little while once we see what happens in this passage of play. So scrum Toulouse well inside their own 22. The referee is just going to look for it's not the reset. In fact, it's going to be An opportunity for Toulouse to clear the lines, and another mistake by Connacht at set piece, but Entomac kicks it good distance on it, but straight into the hands of John Porch, who's running into the centre field, trying to skip away through a couple of challenges. He's brought to ground, but he's got Connacht back into the Toulouse half again. Matt Healy, and then Blade goes back to Tom Farrell over on the Connacht left-hand side. Blade looking for the support that is there from the substitute Matt Burke. Finlay Bealham is on as well, so Connacht have changed their entire front row. It's another loose pass, and they've given it straight to Toulouse, but the referee is going to come back because there was some foul play, I think, from Julien Marchand.
It was an offside penalty. They kind of jumped the gun, and then they didn't get back on side. An opportunity here now just to kick at sticks, I'd say, regardless. Just take your opportunity, take your 90 seconds, and have a pop.
Well, Quaylon Blades in a bit of trouble, which would be very worrying for Andy Friend. Oh, that's a very late hit.
Let's go 10, please.
On Quinn Roux. It was high. It was just below the neck, and he definitely looks winded. You were saying he's been exceptional today, so Connacht need him to pick himself up. It looks as though he's going to do just that. It looks as though it's probably just going to be the penalty.
On the Irish guide, it went down.
Yeah, they're just having a check here late onto it. It was late.
Definitely a little bit high.
Yeah. Look, to be honest,
so I'm looking
me,
at a late
probably
tackle.
Just a penalty. But again, you're going to slow it down, see where the contact is with the shoulder, and how late it is. It's late.
It was Jerome Kano. It was so late.
I think that's all it is, though. Like, I don't think there's anything more in terms of a high shot or anything. It's just kind of stupid, really, when you look at it here in the replays in front of us on the screen. So the ball's
Does he use his arms?
Gone. No, probably
leads
not
with his shoulder.
On the chest.
But
anyway, so all I'm thinking is penalty only maximum. Okay. Yeah, a tackle without the ball, just a penalty only. That's all I'm seeing there, Jeff. Nothing more. So I can give him the option of the penalty where the tackle was or the offside.
There's a new career for you. Big money.
Penalty only?
No, because I'd have to deal with people like me at half-time and after the match, so not a chance.
No. So would you like the penalty there or here? Would you like the penalty where the offside was or the late hit? Okay, over here.
Whichever one is closer to the post, I would suspect is going to be the answer.
Yeah.
So it is a penalty to Connacht, who lead by 2, a chance to extend their lead to 5 points. 15 minutes into the second half here in Toulouse.
Oh, no problem.
It's difficult conditions here now for a kicker in terms of just the underfoot. Because there's been rain on such a good pitch, it's just quite slippy. So you just have to make sure that your non-kicking foot can get nice and grounded, and probably just not to try to kick it too hard and try and place it. But this is a big kick for Fitzgerald, but you'd back him in terms of his how he's played so far, and especially after last week, the confidence he has in his boot, I'd say, is very, very high.
So just shy of the 10-metre line, a long way out, the rain falling upon Conor Fitzgerald. Just checking the wind, and that's drawing the ire of the home supporters, wasting a few more seconds. So Conor Fitzgerald steps up, left-footed, and it spins well to the left and wide, probably just out of range in these sort of conditions. So missed chance there for Connacht, but they remain 2 points in front. Toulouse 15, Connacht 17. Nathan Murphy and Johne Murphy with you. The Stade Ernest-Wallon, the venue, as more replacements come onto the pitch. I mentioned that Connacht have brought on their full front row of replacements: Shane Delahunt, Matt Burke and Finlay Bealham. Paul Boyle's also on. Robin Copeland has gone off, and Toulouse making plenty of changes as well, including Thomas Dutoit, the South African, who was a late call-up into their World Cup squad. Didn't play in the final, but has himself a World Cup winners medal. And when will we see Jack Carty emerge? Connacht again still full of running, such huge energy, and you got to say Andy Friend has got his team selection spot on, because the freshness that they seem to have made almost a dozen changes from last week's victory over Montpellier, certainly showing in this second half, where Connacht have been certainly the better team. Just need to make sure they don't make any mistakes in these slippy conditions. Tom Farrell, the ball was behind him from Quaylon Blades. Big man Tom Farrell
he's done well
in
there.
the centre.
this is just the area they have to manage now. In between the two 10 metres, make sure that they don't try and play too much in this area and try and get the ball down. So it's really time now that they have to try and exit here, control it. Oh, nearly a line break there. That nearly went straight up the middle. Smart play, but just need to make sure that they exit now correctly.
And foul kicks into the 22,
perfect.
and it's an inch perfect kick from Connacht, gaining huge ground right into the Toulouse 22. And Romain Ntamack has a sort of bemused look on his face. Maybe wasn't quite expecting this sort of resistance from Connacht this afternoon. But Andy Friend has turned this side into a pretty mean machine.
That was a really good exit. They managed to control the ball quite well, but something that they weren't doing in the previous 16 minutes was actually just the execution of the kick. They did come off the side of Tom Farrell's boot, but it was perfectly judged. Nice tight spiral into the right-hand corner. So it's good play, good execution on the kick.
Toulouse claimed the line out on their own 22-yard line. At the base of the maul is Sebastian Bézi. Try already, gets it out quickly there to Reinhard Elstad. Drives forward and gains a couple of yards for Toulouse, who trail Connacht by 2 points, 57 minutes gone here and off the ball. Bézi with the box kick. In slippery conditions, you need to be perfect, which is exactly what John Porch is, the right wing for Connacht. He's a little bit isolated. Eventually across over the Toulouse players was Quinn Roux, and now Connacht with Tom Daly up over the halfway line, skipped through the initial challenge of Francois Croll, and Blade will go out to the left wing. You can see just about keeping hold of it was Conor Fitzgerald. That slowed things down ever so slightly and allowed Toulouse to get forward quickly. You feel there's going to be mistakes in the closing 20 or so minutes because conditions are getting more and more difficult as the rain continues to fall. Quaylon Blade kicks it out on the foot, straight out of touch.
Again, not a bad option, probably the correct one. Uche was up high in the backfield, and they're trying to put the ball in behind him. Again, it's just the execution that has let them down. Conditions are really starting to deteriorate now. So again, just to reiterate, it's really important how they manage in between the two 10 metres and try and make sure that they're playing in the correct areas, not giving Toulouse any opportunities to launch into their multi-phase attack.
Another change for Connacht. Peter Robb is on in place of Tom Daly in the centre. We'll see if that sparks any sort of a shift in the Connacht back line. Toulouse win their line out on the halfway line, and the referee calls maul, and they're driving forward there with Francois Croll. Still holding on to possession. Connacht just couldn't steal it. And over the ball is Dorian Aldegri. Over on the right-hand side for Toulouse. The team in red driving forward. Connacht putting their bodies on the line there. This time it was Shane Delahunt with a heavy hit. And Jerome Kano can't gain any yardage at all. And very nearly a knock on. And there were appeals there as Julien Mersange almost lost control of the ball. Midway between the 10-metre line and the 22 now are Toulouse, as they look to try and retake the lead yet again in this game. It's swung one way, then the other, and it's advantage Connacht at the moment. Some big hits going in this Connacht defensive. They stolen the ball back.
That's unlucky. I thought Beelum was on the ball there. But again, it's just their discipline in this first half. In the whole game that is just let them down. But that is one of those marginal ones where he probably feels he's on the ball first before the clear out comes. I suppose what the referee believes is even though he's on the ball, he gets hit, he has the potential to lose the ball, and then he goes back at it. That's where that penalty is. But I think it's probably a refereeing trend there. He's only given one penalty for holding on, so it is something, and there has been plenty of opportunities throughout the game, so it's probably something that he is a bit more of a positive referee for the team in attack. So when they hold the ball, he gives them the opportunity to clear out.
So an hour gone, and a chance for Thomas Ramos of Toulouse to put the French side back in front yet again. They trail by 2. Now they lead by 1. It was drifting slightly right, but it goes straight between the posts. Toulouse 18 points, Connacht 17 points. impossible to call heading into the final 20 minutes.
Yeah, I just think even though they've gone behind, a point behind, nothing changes for Connacht. They just need to make sure that they play in the right areas, win that territory battle in between the two tens, and they're going to have an opportunity. They are going to get another opportunity to score, be it through penalty or get another opportunity to score a try. They are going to get that opportunity. Another fantastic kick-off there by Fitzgerald. Delahunt gets up and regain the ball. They're now positive again inside the Toulouse 10, going for it here. Really, really good play.
Oh, stolen back brilliantly by Jerome Kano, but kicked forward straight to a Connacht player. Nice little football skills there for Connacht to keep it alive, and they have possession back again. Toulouse 18, Connacht 17. That front row that have come on, particularly Delahunt and Phelan, making a positive impression. Strong challenge from Uge on Farrell. And Farrell just about, oh no, they've lost it. Great turnover from Toulouse, starting to apply some pressure into space on this near side. Here comes this red wave, flying forward with Ntamak, gives it then to Tolzan, and now it comes down this left wing. Desperate challenge there, and Maxime Medard. They're up inside the 22, but they've gone out on this left-hand touchline. They take the penalty quickly. Chance for Toulouse, looking for their third try of the game. Bring it up inside the 5-metre line. Jerome Kano trying to just pummel his way through this Connacht defence. Big turnover in the middle of midfield, and Toulouse have capitalised right on it. Connacht have men back. Slow ball there from Toulouse. All they need is a couple of inches, but the referee blows his whistle as the ball comes loose, and it's going to be brought back for Toulouse ball. Well, it all just happened in a flash, and Toulouse suddenly found themselves with men over on this near side, the left wing, and they very nearly made it pay.
You see, there is no better team in European rugby playing that transition game where they get that turnover, and Connacht are in their setup from an attack perspective. I think it looks like they play 1-3-3-1, which means Delahunt is isolated on his own outside, and what he likes to do is what any forward in that position is going to do, because he feels he's lacked for pace, he's going to shoot up and try and stop it man and ball. Ball beats him, and then it's down to 2v1 down the edge, and you give a load of space to Ntamak running down the left-hand touchline. So difficult to manage on that transition, especially against a team like Toulouse, because they're so potent in that facet of the game.
Oh, it's huge defensive play from the winger John Porch as well, because they did 3-on-1, but he got his positioning spot on, and a desperate tackle to bring Uge to ground. But very much now Toulouse on top, and they go with the quick kick cross field, but the referee's going to bring it back. Toulouse think they're over in the far corner. Well, they tried a smart penalty, but the referee said there's too many water carriers on the pitch, so he's not going to let Toulouse away with it.
There's no issue there, because their water is on. Tom Farrell is getting treatment. He wasn't aware, and fair play to the referee there. He turns to Ramos. He's like, well, that's my fault. I didn't look around. I didn't see that there was medical attention on the pitch. So I don't think anyone can have any qualms about that. The referee stood up, knew he was wrong.
I apologise. Okay.
And the referee admitting maybe he was at fault. Toulouse 18, Connacht 17, 62 minutes gone. But Connacht facing some severe pressure now as Toulouse are going to kick to the corner. Jack Carty is on for these final 20 or so minutes. He's replaced Conor Fitzgerald, who had a fine game.
Yeah, Tom Farrell has been treated treated there. Hopefully he's all right. He's been kind of the lead back in terms of the carries and how he's moved.
They hadn't gone off, so I can't restart the game while there's still water carriers and physios on the pitch.
How much explaining does it need?
I know, that's why I said it's my mistake. I know, and that's why I said
this lad likes the sound of his own voice.
Okay, is he going?
That's why you'd be a good ref, Johnny. You'd have a permanent microphone.
You'd be better than me, by the side of it.
Eventually, the referee is going to let us restart, and Toulouse, almost on the 5-metre line, are going to kick to the corner.
You're coming off. I've been literally going off.
Tom Farrell is going off. Is he going off for a HIA, or is he being substituted? Just trying to figure out what's happening. The referee's saying, are Connacht going to bring somebody on? I presume they are.
We're waiting for 13 to be replaced.
There's a lot of confusion going on here. I think the issue is that they probably made a pre-planned sub in terms of Carty going on, and then he's trying to, he himself, you can see here by his body language, he's trying to stay on. But it was a call that was made from the touchline.
So Toulouse with the line out. Owen Connacht very nearly did enough to disrupt it, but they have to defend now right on their own line pretty much. Toulouse leading by a point. You feel if they can get a try here, well, it's going to be so difficult for Connacht to find a way back. Kano's at the base of the ruck. He's just trying to drive himself into the ground and gain a couple of yards. Toulouse 2 yards shy of the Connacht try line.
Penalty advantage here as well for 17 offside.
Still there for the team in red, an outstretched arm. They still don't get the ball over the line. And Kano this time, the one who's trying to go over, may well be there. Oh, brilliant last gasp defending, just inches shy now of the Connacht try line. Still there for Toulouse, who have penalty advantage as well. The ball is down, the arm goes up, and it is a try for Toulouse. The Connacht player is on the line, suggesting that Jerome Kano maybe didn't ground it. Certainly from our angle, it looked as though he did manage to touch it down, and the All Black legend gets a try for Toulouse. A big moment that puts Toulouse 23-17 up into the final 20 minutes. Well, it was only so long that Connacht, you felt, could hold on. Kano was there lurking all the way through as that pressure was applied. And, oh, did he get it down? Well, they're going to take the...
take it anyway.
Take the conversion. It looked actually, on that first seeing of the replay, maybe there was a hand just underneath the ball, but the referee isn't going to take a second look. And Thomas Ramos kicks that penalty, or kicks that conversion between the posts. So now Toulouse, for the first time really in this game, have a little bit of daylight. They lead Connacht by 25 points to 17. So as it stands, there will be no losing bonus point for the visitors.
I think it's really important now that Connacht last 15 minutes, again, nothing changes. They're going to get that opportunity, just have to manage their ball retention and make sure that they take that opportunity when they get it to try and make sure that they come away with what as much as they can. Certainly a losing bonus point is something that they, from the position that they've been in for the most of the game, they really need to come away with.
So Jerome Kano, the player who scored the third try of the game for Toulouse, didn't have a bad career.
17. Take a step, please.
Two World Cups with the All Blacks. A ball with Jack Carty on as a substitute. Can he provide some magic and get Connacht back into this game? We'll go and get the full time from West Ham Spurs at the next break and play. Connacht, though, have lost possession. It's been turned over again. And maybe a little bit of fatigue starting to creep into this Connacht side, because Toulouse starting to come in force, but there's a knock on there, a mistake from Julien Marchand as the ball was passed back to him, and some relief for Connacht. Toulouse 25, Connacht 17, 15 minutes left. Let's get the full time from West Ham and Spurs.
West Ham 2, Spurs 3. So Spurs under Jose Mourinho begin with a win that was thoroughly deserved. They dominated the first half, 2-0 up through Son and Mora. In the second half, Harry Kane thumped a header home. West Ham did play a bit towards the end, thanks to Michail Antonio. He scored one fine goal and was involved in creating the corner that saw Ogbonna turn the ball home. Too little, too late. West Ham 2, Spurs 3.
So Jose Mourinho gets his victory in his first game in charge, even if they were hanging on a little bit at the end. Tottenham. You're listening to Off the Ball on this Saturday afternoon. Toulouse 25, Connacht 17 here at the Stade Ernest-Wallon. Connacht have been right in this game throughout, but Jerome Kano's try has just given Toulouse a little bit of breathing space. We're waiting on the scrum in the middle of the pitch. After this, we'll be concentrating on football for the afternoon. Liverpool among the teams in action at 3 o'clock. John Duggan will bring you through all of that, and then at 5:30, our second live commentary, we'll have Liam Toland and Fiona Steed alongside Neil Tracy down at Thomond Park for Munster against Racing. We're on air all the way through until 8 o'clock this evening, and we'll keep you updated on Leinster as well. They play Lyon at 3:15 here in France. In that group, Benetton leading Northampton by 25 points to 15. Also at the moment, Saracens, the holders, lead Ospreys by 30 points to 3.
Make up now the back line as Carty has come on. He actually came on for Farrell. So and Fitzgerald has gone to full back with Healy on the wing. That means that they have a really good right foot, left foot axis, and they can play both sides of the ball with the opportunity of playing in the correct areas. Interesting. Again, Toulouse are attacking the ball when Connacht are attacking, and that's paying dividends now. The last 3 times Connacht have had the ball, Toulouse players forced the turnover by ripping it out of contact. They need to make sure they look after the ball security a lot more.
Yeah, that's 3 big turnovers in almost as many minutes for Toulouse in the centre of the pitch. The ball went out to the right wing for Toulouse, and it was Uge who didn't collect the ball, so I'm not sure was he annoyed with the referee or whether it was the loose pass from one of his teammates. I presume it was the pass there from Ntamak, and then good pressure from Connacht, forcing the ball out of play. Another change for Toulouse. Reinhard Elstad is done. Silvestre Tolofuna comes on.
The rain is really coming down here now, so it is very difficult conditions when you're going into close quarter contact and trying to look after the ball.
Connacht have lost the ball from their own line out. It was Owen Masterson who just couldn't claim it, just slipped off the tips of his fingers, and Toulouse getting a lot of cheap ball now in and around the middle of the pitch, and they'll try and bring it wide quickly to this near side that Toulouse left, where they had numbers over, but they're having to step back inside with Guitan. Brought to ground there by Fayanga. Thrown back then from Bezzi. And Toulouse inside their own half. Ntamak, his kick forward is blocked down. It spins out of control over to the Connacht left-hand side, where it's picked up by Matt Healy. Seemed a little bit unsure there as he's tackled to the ground by Francois Croix. Diving challenge there from Uge, but Connacht will try and come through a more central position. Strong challenge in there from Rory Arnold. And Blade back now to Finlay Beelan.
I think it's important Connacht don't get into a stage where they're chasing. They don't need to chase. They just need to make sure that they play in the right area. The conditions the way they are will lend itself that they will get another opportunity to score. Where if they keep playing in this area of the park, a turnover, that's going to play into Toulouse, a transition game. They have an opportunity, and that's what's led to the last scrum.
Another turnover from Toulouse right in the centre of the pitch. It was loose from Connacht. They do just look like they're running out of steam a little bit. An easy ball for Toulouse to win back. One more score for the home side. Well, could secure them both the bonus point and the victory. It'd be impossible really to see Connacht coming back from that. They trail by 25 points to 17. Another kick forward from Toulouse, this time from Maxime Médard. Comes deflecting off a Connacht player. And maybe that is the better option for Connacht, because we saw Connacht kick the ball quite a lot earlier in the game. They're not really doing it as much in the last 15 minutes or so, with conditions, as you say, deteriorating rapidly. It is absolutely pelting it down as Ulton Delan is replaced. And Joe Maximu is going to come on, former Leicester Tiger, in the second row.
Get numbers so when we start.
Angus Lloyd's coming on now for Blade, a player that's come up to the AIL ranks. Played very well, played the Irish clubs 2 seasons ago, and has had stints with Ulster, Munster and Connacht over the last few years.
Green, blue,
really good, solid player. Hopefully he can try and grind some there. They just need to make sure that they play in the right areas. Connacht will just, Toulouse will just look to play out when they're in their 22. 8 points ahead now. They just want to win the game. So I just think it's important that they keep trying to play in the correct areas rather than playing in between the 10s, because as we've seen from the last try that Toulouse scored, their transition game 2 pass, and they have the potential to get around you down the edge.
Northampton have come back against Benetton in Leinster's pool. It's now Benetton 25, Northampton 25, which will be an ideal result for Leinster, though you would look at Lyon as probably their main rivals for winning that pool, if anybody can get near Leinster in the pool stage.
Yeah, we're still going. We're ready.
10 minutes left then. Toulouse 25, Connacht 17. Remember, Connacht have never made it to the knockout stage of the Heineken Champions Cup, and have come here to France to take on its most successful team, 4 times winners, beaten in 2 other finals. They are the reigning top 14 champions, Toulouse. So still very much one of the big guns. And remember, they got to the semi-finals of the Champions Cup last year when never really made a glove on Leinster. Connacht have the ball from their own scrum, right on the halfway line in Toulouse. And going to ground is Fitzgerald, who got a reprieve after that injury to Tom Farrell, so both Fitzgerald and Jack Carthy on the pitch. Going to go back for the Connacht scrum again.
On the scrum, at the scrum.
They're putting in a huge effort, but they're gaining very little ground forward at the moment, Connacht. And actually, there's an opportunity for Fitzgerald off his left boot to kick Connacht into a decent position.
Nice ball again, deep into the 22. Opportunity. I think Connacht just need to chip away. They got an opportunity, penalty, take it, get within 7, and then see where they go. If they can be within 7, 5 minutes to go, they'll probably back themselves that if they get in the 22, they have an opportunity to score.
The penalty was right at the start of the scrum. The referee saying going back to the scrum, where Connacht go to the Toulouse 22 on this near side. Connacht line out. They need a score, but they've lost their line out. And then Ajay is able to clear forward. It takes a difficult enough bounce, eventually picked up by John Porch. That will be the frustration for Andy Friend, while there'll be certain pride that these players, many of whom playing Champions Cup rugby for the first time, have stepped up and been able to run Toulouse close. They've been masters of their own downfall in many ways. Just a lot of mistakes from Connacht throughout this game. Ball kicked forward to the Toulouse 22, and then it's fired right-footed straight out of play. But we're going to go back and...
See, that's the point. You know, you play in the right areas. Toulouse will make a mistake. You can't have a go about standing on the line. The line is not yours. The line is out. So the line is the other team's. It's like running when you touch line.
Yeah, so Thomas Ramos is the player who made the mistake. As he kicked the ball, he stepped onto the touchline on the 20, onto the line on the 22. And now it is a line out to Connacht again. That is a big mistake. Can Connacht capitalise as we head into the final 7 minutes? They trail to lose by 8 points. They would certainly take the losing bonus point at this stage. At the back of them all is Angus Lloyd, who's on in place of Quaylon Blade. Lloyd's brought to ground. Some heavy hits coming in there from the Toulouse defence. Connacht not really gaining any ground, but forced back is the winger Kyle Godwin. Acting as scrum half is Maximu. And then there's a lovely kick out to the left-hand side. Oh, they needed the bounce. They needed the bounce from Matt Healy. But because the surface is a little soggy, it just didn't bounce up off the ground at all. He was free over on the left-hand side. He was spotted on that left wing with the kick from Carty. And just as he tried to claim it, in fact, could he have done a little bit better, Matt Healy? Just tried to take it one-handed with his left hand, and with these sort of conditions with the ball that slippy, well, it was almost impossible.
That was a massive opportunity. He would have won the foot race to the corner. I think I'm just saying, Nathan, go with 2 hands, give yourself a better opportunity. Probably just didn't pop up, probably just skidded, to be fair to him, just might have skidded across, and probably the pace of the bench just beat him. But certainly try and go at it with 2 hands, give yourself a better opportunity. But I think I would have backed him if he did collect it to win that foot race to the corner. That's an opportunity missed now. That could have been a 5-pointer, put them right back in it with 5 minutes to go.
It is properly miserable in Toulouse right now. It is absolutely bucketing down as we head for the final 5 minutes. Toulouse 25, Connacht 17 here and off the ball. More live and exclusive national radio commentary to come your way this evening. Munster against Racing from 5:30 at Thomond Park. Fiona Steed and Liam Toland alongside Neil Tracy. We're on air all the way through till 8 o'clock. John Duggan is going to bring you through the day's football. He'll be joined by Johnny Ward and Shane Keegan from 3 o'clock. Liverpool among the teams in action, so stick with us. But can Connacht grind something out here and get what you'd have to say probably be a deserved losing bonus point? They put in a mammoth effort and they're inside the Toulouse 22, but Toulouse have possession of the ball. Tulafuna goes to ground. He was tackled there by Angus Lloyd, who's in an offside position, told to get back by the referee, does scamper back. But it's the sort of conditions where you don't really want the ball at the moment because it's so easy to make a mistake. Pierre Page with the box kick gets some decent distance. Is it going to drift out of play? It is. So
it's an excellent kick from deep in his own 22 off the base of a ruck. Gets at least a 45-metre gain there, territory-wise, and puts you back in that danger zone between the 10s, where Connacht feel that they might have to play a bit more than they should.
We've already seen that Conor Fitzgerald can kick a drop goal, so maybe that will be an option as we head into these closing stages. Connacht line-out, which this time they win with Paul Boyle, who collected that very well. They're right in the centre of the pitch. They have 4 minutes to somehow get a score and take something from this match. A game that, for long parts, Connacht led on, again, a turnover right in the centre of the pitch. And It's going to be an advantage to Toulouse, and they're such an experienced side. Even with 4 minutes to go, well, maybe they can just hold on to possession, put the head down in these conditions, and not give Connacht a sniff.
I think that's just inexperience from Peter Robb there, trying to force the offload after trying to get some extra yards, get his hands free, and that just forces the turnover. He forces a pass to Angus Lloyd, and then they have a knock on in the middle of the park.
Yeah, so they're going to go back for the scrum right in the middle of the park, and it's all just wasting valuable seconds for Connacht now.
Knock on, always under pressure going.
They've got that huge double header to come. We're going to have both games live against Gloucester here and off the ball. We travel to Kingsholm in a couple of weeks' time, and then back at the sports ground just before Christmas. You feel they're going to have to win both those games to have a chance of reaching the quarterfinals for the first time.
But certainly, if they don't get a bonus point here, they've got 3.5 minutes to turn it around. It's going to be interesting to see how their scrum goes. A bit of blood here now to make sure that for the Toulouse sub prop coming off, just getting cleaned up and then going back in. But he'd be bitterly disappointed if they didn't manage to get another opportunity to get their bonus point, because it would be well deserved.
Okay, and if there's anything like that,
when you look at Toulouse, and
sure if
reigning top 14 champions, got to the semi-finals last year, still have the likes of Antoine Dupont at scrum half, and obviously Cheslin Colby to come back in. Do they look like a team who could do damage later in the tournament?
Yeah, I think they'll get better as they go on. I've been disappointed with them today, but the conditions have been poor and they've deteriorated throughout the afternoon. So, but you know, I think as we were talking at half time, you know, sometimes if you don't give your opposition probably the respect that they deserve, it's very hard to change that throughout the 80 minutes, especially when the conditions are going the way they're going. So that might have been the case, but Connacht they're probably going to look back and rue some discipline issues and some line-out malfunctions that at critical times and relieve pressure, or just lost an opportunity to put scores on the scoreboard.
Toulouse scrum, they lose possession of the ball. The referee blows his whistle though, and he goes back, and that's a big moment. The Toulouse players know it. And for a split second, there's a little bit of afters in there as well with Shane Delahunt. But that penalty given away by Quinn Roos, had such a fine game, is going to allow Toulouse to kick towards the corner and maybe play the final couple of minutes of this game out inside the Connacht half. And you feel Connacht now relying on a Toulouse mistake if they're to have any chance of coming away with the losing bonus point.
It's a long way to lose 22 from inside your own 22 in conditions like this. They really do need that mistake. They're probably just going to have to try and go for broke from a defensive set and maybe try and go for an intercept or something, or come up trying hard. So hopefully someone like Matt Heaney or Porsche in the wings can come up with something on the edges, but it's going to be difficult from here with 90 seconds left to play.
Yeah, 12-4 is the penalty count against Connacht. That's ultimately what it's going to cost them in this game, you feel. Toulouse have the ball inside the Connacht 22, driving forward. They want the bonus point victory with Tulafuna getting ever closer. So can Toulouse maybe come away with
offside here?
Absolutely everything.
Offside. The referee's arm is out. You know, again, just a silly penalty. Regardless of what happens here, Toulouse are going to have an opportunity to kick in 5 and go for a maul, but it's those silly little offside penalties and stuff like that that has really cost Connacht today.
Yeah, rather than gaining a losing bonus point, Connacht's aim now is to stop Toulouse coming away with a 4-try bonus point. The referee is going to go back, and did you say we're into the final minute, and Toulouse looking for that 4th try. They'll have a chance to kick to the corner here.
Instead of it being 4-1 on the head count, if it comes to that after 6 games, it could potentially be 5-0. That's a massive swing in the context of what a tight pool this is going to be, with Montpellier and Toulouse in it.
And Toulouse obviously feeling confident they're going to go with the scrum inside the 22, so 5-metre scrum for Toulouse. I think by the time the referee blows his whistle again, that will be that. So this may well be the final opportunity for the French side, as you say, to make it a 5-0 in terms of points victory, which they've scarcely deserved. We are past the 80-minute mark. So the put in from Pierre Paget for Toulouse. Can they get that 4th try?
Relax.
And again, a little
16,
bit of
relax.
pushing and shoving.
Relax.
Julien Marchand is the player been told to relax. They're not happy with something that happened with Shane Delahunt. So we go again.
Square, both of you.
The sort of day where
square.
the reserves minimum you feel in these closing seconds. Connacht felt that maybe there was an infringement there by Toulouse in the scrum. It was over the far side. The referee or his touch judge didn't see it. So another opportunity for Toulouse. They have the put in on this scrum on the 5-metre line as they look for a fourth try. They lead 25-17. They're going to win this game. That much we do know. The ball at the base and the back of the scrum, trying to drive forward towards that Connacht line. Out it comes. Skipping away from one challenge was Uge's. Pushed forward by his teammates, and suddenly a little gap opens up, and Toulouse do get their fourth try and the bonus point, and it's the former Connacht man Peter Aki who has scored it. Devastating for the visitors. They put in a mammoth effort, Connacht, but they just couldn't withhold Toulouse right at the end of this game, and the home side will come away with a bonus point victory. The substitute Peter Aki scores their fourth try, and they lead Connacht now by 30 points to 17. 4 tries, 5 points, and Connacht are going to go home with their tails between their legs and nothing to show for their endeavours.
Oh, very disappointing for Connacht there, because they certainly deserve to come away with a losing bonus point, but it's difficult to take from them, because they put in a great performance and have been there. The scoreboard doesn't reflect it. It's that old cliche, the scoreboard doesn't reflect what the game was, but I think they're going to look back at their discipline and pivotal moments in their set piece that really cost them. Especially when they were 2 points up and they missed a line out in their own 22. But I think the major issue is their discipline in a game like this. So tight away from home, you need to be certainly coming in under 10.
The conversion was kicked. The game is over, and Toulouse have beaten Connacht by 32 points to 17. And in the end, it was Peter Aki, player who spent a season at Connacht just a couple of years ago, who was the one who really punished his former teammates, going over for that fourth try after the 80th minute to seal the bonus point victory for Toulouse. Connacht led at various stages of this game. They just couldn't hold out, though. It was a big effort, but as Johnny said, discipline ultimately ended up costing them. They gave away an enormous amount of penalties, and Toulouse have punished them. And how big an impact as this pool rolls on will that have on Connacht's hopes of trying to reach the knockout stage for the first time? It's going to be a massive game, you feel, towards the end of this pool when Toulouse come to Galway. It'll probably be a very different Connacht side. You'd imagine the big guns, Aki, Carty, will be very much back in the starting 15.
Yeah, you would have thought so. Hopefully they're still in the pool after that double header against
All right, Johnny, we got to leave it there. Thanks, as always, for your company this afternoon. The rain continues to fall. Disappointment for Connacht. They've been beaten 32-17.
Yes, with Jerome on.
Thanks, Johnny, from France. And I think, look, they've got to win their matches at home, Connacht. I think that's pretty much what needs to happen if they've got to get out of this.